Aline goes to the kitchen and says, "Good morning, William. I need to talk to you, dry that hand." William greets her and dries her hands and turns to Aline saying, "You can talk." Then Aline says, "How many times am I going to have to tell you that I don't want my hair down in the kitchen?" William says, "Many times donna Aline," and her boss retorts saying, "And because her hair is all up and William, I just tied it up like this." Aline replied, "I think you forget that you cook here and I hope I don't have to say that again to you, and another thing, this one will be your uniform from now on. I had it made according to your size and I want you to wear it, and that it is always impeccable, clean and pressed. I want you to wear it every day and with the cap on head, and what is that you put in your mouth?" William answers, "It's lipstick. I really like lipstick." And Aline says, "I think you're forgetting that this is your place of work and you're not going to a party, let alone flirt, so you have to have posture, and even that I'll go have to teach you." William says no, and Aline says, "I don't want to have to say the same things again, and what's that in your hand?" William says he did his nails, so Aline asks, "Do you like them colored?" "You'll have to cut it, it's very short, because you mess with food, and I don't care about nails to accumulate dirt, and I want to have my hair tied back, short nails, without lipstick and uniformed, every day the same thing. You're making me run out of patience." William says, "You can leave, I'll do everything as you said." So Aline asks her to finish the coffee and take it to the table because she was waiting. Aline arrives at the table and says, "Oh, that sucks." And her husband asks what happened this time. William once again, "I don't know what happens to her. She gets here late every day, she never arrives on time." And Pedro says, "You get in trouble with everything. Has the world noticed?" And she asks, "Are you going to defend Pedro?" He says, "It's not defending, but you don't know how to talk to anyone." And she talks like I don't know how to talk. I arrived in the kitchen and said good morning. Then she has her hair down in the kitchen, and I've told her a lot of times that I don't want my hair down in the kitchen. She messes with food. Is that really that hard? Did he ask solve the problem? Did you give her the uniform? She says she solved it and now just wanted to see if she would comply. Pedro says, "You get into fights with people for nothing. It's like it is with me, and it's like that every day." Aline mockingly says, "Do you want me to applaud her lack of punctuality? And the lack of professionalism? Is that what she's talking about?" Pedro asks, "Do you really think she lacks professionalism? Look how long she works for us." Aline retaliates, saying that professionalism is this: I have a meeting in 30 minutes, and so far, there is nothing on the table. Where have you seen this? A person who has an employee in the house, a helper, and leaves the house without having breakfast, because the coffee is not on the table. And Pedro says, "I never know when you are right, because you only complain and have no patience with anyone." And Aline retorts saying, "You are already pissing me off too," and that she was telling him a problem and that instead of him helping, she was talking in her head, and apologizes and leaves. Pedro is dissatisfied and says he can't talk to you not. 4 hours later, Aline goes to her room and asks, "Where's lunch?" William says, "Forgive me, Aline, I arrived, washed the clothes, bathed and ironed. I did a lot and still didn't have time to make lunch." Aline says, "I'm tired of your lame excuses. It's not enough for me to go out to a meeting in the morning without having breakfast." William apologizes again, and Aline says, "Enough. At my lunchtime I come to lunch and there is no lunch. It seems that I don't have anyone working for me," and tells William to appreciate her work and that she was reaching her limit already. William says he's going to make lunch and again apologizes, and Aline asks her to stop making mistakes and that she was supposed to do things the right way and that she was tired, so she leaves. William says, "I'm just going to finish these clothes here and I'm going to make your lunch." Later, William comes home and her husband asks if everything is okay. She says it's not all right. He asks, "But what happened?" She says, "The boss just kept cursing me. Everything I did said something. She even talked about sending me away, and now what am I going to do?" He asks to calm down and she says how we have a lot of bills to pay, and he says, "Unfortunately we do, but you have to calm down a little, and I know it's a difficult time for you, but it will work all right, and keep calm." The other day Aline murmurs that she no longer had patience with William and that she couldn't stand her any longer, and wonders what she was going to do. And what was worse was her husband, who defended William everything, and that she never had seen such a thing, and wonder what she would do. And soon she has an idea and puts money in her pants pocket and starts calling for William. Soon she arrives saying, "Hi boss." So Aline says, "I want you to wash your clothes. These you can put in the normal machine, and this one is a pair of pants that the fabric is very delicate, and I want you to wash it by hand and be very careful and do it for me please." William asks if it was just that. Aline informs that she would wear the pants today, so she would have to wash them at the same moment and asks please. William says, "I'll start then," and leaves. Aline sits down and says, "Now I want to see." Upon arriving at the laundry, William says, "Wow. The boss is so nice today. She asked me to wash her clothes. I'm going to do it the way she asked me to. I'm going to start these pants here. Wow, what beautiful pants. I've never seen them like them. Let me see if there's anything in those pockets." Then she sees the money, so she takes it and puts it in her pocket, saying she would return it to her boss, and starts washing her pants. Later Aline sees Pedro and says, "I'm glad you're there." He asks what love was. Aline says, "Are you seeing this here?" And he says it's a pair of pants. And Aline says, "It's not just pants, it's the content of these pants," and he asks what's too much in the pants. And she says, "I'll explain to you," because her reasoning is very slow. "Earlier today, I asked William to wash some clothes for me and she could put some in the machine. But these pants here that have the most delicate fabric I asked her to wash in my hand, and in this pocket here I put 100 reais, and now I went to get my pants, and where is the money?" "I told you," Pedro says. "Do you have any idea what you are doing? You want to insinuate that she stole the money that was in her pants," and Aline says, "I'm not insinuating anything, I'm confirming a fact and showing you the fact." And Pedro says, "She wouldn't do that. How do you put the girl in that situation?" She replied, "Do I put? I'm just showing you something that I've suspected for a long time." So he asks to take the test clean, and she says, irritated, "This test of yours irritates me," and then screams for William. William goes to her and asks if something had happened. Aline says, "Do you know these pants?" And William replied, "Yes, I washed these pants in the morning. Did I do anything to them?" Aline retorts saying, "Yes, you washed it, it is well washed. But I happened to forget 100 reais in this pocket here." William smiling says, "I know, I put it in my pocket here." And Aline said, "Did you put it in my pocket?" And she says, "Yes, because I was washing it, so I saved it so I could give it to you." And Aline says, "And when will you deliver this money?" "Today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or never." And William says, "Dona Aline, I would never steal from you." Pedro then asks William what happened. "Why is this money with you?" And she says, "Mr. Pedro, you know that I do a lot of things here at your house, and I went to wash Dona Aline's clothes and saw the money, so I thought I'd save the money here. You know me very well, and I've been working here for a long time. I would never steal from you." Pedro says that he believes in her and that she was a great employee and that he would never suspect her. And Aline, annoyed, says, "What do you mean a great employee? Look what she just did." Pedro gets up and says to William, "I know Aline," and from today he asks for the money back and gives it to Aline. And he keeps saying, "Now you're going to be promoted, I'm going to increase your salary and give the girl a vacation. Nobody deserves to go through a shame like that our friend Aline is making you go through," and says she's going to run after everything. Aline gets very angry and leaves screaming, and William thanks him. Do you think he did it right? Leave it in the comments.